Well, hello, boys and girls. It's when we feel like it o'clock again, isn't it? Yeah, I know you feel like it. Because you wouldn't be here if you didn't feel like it, would you? I wouldn't be here if I didn't feel like it. Because we live in the we do things when we feel like it world. I haven't did this in a long time. How about we namaste together? Yay, namaste. Apparently it means peace. I gotta get to, look at again. I gotta get this to the 4-cup cleaning guys. Or 4 guys cleaning. Cup cleaning. 4 guys cup cleaning. That's it. You think I'd know by now. Okay. I'm Pearl of Wisdom, as everybody knows in the land, and we've been doing some fine content lately, haven't we? Some fine programming. We had Steel Flyers a couple times. Last time, oh my gosh, I would go check that out if I were you. It was riveting. And I did a mock draft, and there's been Frolic all over the land. We've had, I forgot to write down the guy that commented yesterday. I forgot to write it down, but I'm not going to keep on doing it. I'll put it on my next video because he was great. He was, what was he saying? Can't remember. I need a nap. I just got back from the gym and I'm sore, so very sore because the gym's just open. And during COVID, of course, I didn't do nothing like everybody else. Fattened myself up and got myself all ready to get a serious spanking there at the gym. By the way, we have just opened up the Perlo's House of Spanking again from COVID. The thing is now we have 6-foot paddles. That's the difference. So you're welcome to come. The lineup is pretty long though, because we're only allowed to have 100 people in at a time. So, but the lineup is a little bit long, but you know, be patient, get yourself your spankings, and like everybody should, right? If not, if you're not in this area, or if you don't want to fly here, which I don't know why you wouldn't want to do, but you know, go down to your whatever house of spanking. Tell me if your houses of spanking are open yet. Your wherever that is. Tell me all about it. Anyways, I probably lost all the new guys already. They're like, who the fuck is this guy? What I'm going to be talking about is the Hall of Fame and who got inducted, who didn't get inducted, what I think about it, and you're going to find that I don't get really all that serious about it. There's a lot of guys, I've had some discussions, and I understand people are passionate about their players, right? They want their players to feel good about themselves, to think of them. But you know what? I think most players, they already are comfortable with it. If they get in the hall, it's a great honor, but I don't think it hurts. I think it hurts the fans more than the actual players. That's what I'm trying to say. So, but I was also out getting Melissa and Hernandez ready in the helicopter when I got back from the gym, giving them all the directions to send out the Pearls of Wisdom necklaces to everybody out there that hit the subscribe button, like right now. Yeah, that's good. Good for you. Awesome. Hitting that subscribe and the like. We love that sort of thing here at Pearl of Wisdom Industries. So do that and we'll send you the Pearl of Wisdom necklace and helicopter to your door, and signed by me and all that stuff everybody knows. Okay, let's get into the first one that we're going to get into is the finest in the land, Jarome Iginla. My top 5 of this generation. I freaking love Jarome Iginla. Everybody loves Jarome Iginla. I swear to God, when Jarome Iginla fought, which he did often, it's a throwback fight, good defensively, awesome offensive player. He would have way better offensive numbers if he had played in the league more today. He played through the clutch and grab times of hockey and still put up point-to-games or over point-to-games seasons, which is insane for that time. If you knew that time, like he had a 41 goaler in 2004, right in the heart of that time. 50 goals in that, I think it was only Ovechkin, maybe only a handful of guys that through that terrible clutch and grab time that had those kind of stats. Insane. I swear to God, I saw, like, when people fought Jarome Iginla, they were like loving him at the same time. It's like they weren't even angry. I was like, okay, it was like really hard to fight. It would have been really hard to fight Jarome. because he is just such a great guy. Great leader, first balloter, guaranteed. If he wasn't a first balloter, okay, maybe that's the meter where I lose my shit. Maybe, if Jarome doesn't make it on the first ballot. But he does. He deserves it. I don't think anybody in the land would ever question that because he's incredible. So the next one we have is Hossa. Now, Hossa, his stats are very good. And he played 1,309 games, was just around a point a game. Again, one of those players that played in the clutch and grab time and still put up a point a game. But the great thing about Hossa, and if you're too young or you didn't get to see him play, he's one of the best defense. I would go check out his highlight. They have a highlight reel stuff from Hossa, probably a lot now, on YouTube here. And just watch his defensive play. He was like a winger that played a lot like Datsuk did in center. Very unassuming. Never really got enough credit for just how good of a player he is. And it's awesome that they gave him a first ballot here. This shows that the league really knows, is really showing that the league knows how great of a player he was. A lot of people just didn't appreciate his game. It's not a flashy game and stuff, but anybody who he played for really appreciated it. He should have had Selkies. Did he have Selkies? I should have looked at. No, I'm sure he didn't have a Selkie. Probably should have. He's Selkie caliber as a winger, and that's the thing. In wingers, it's hard to win Selkies. It almost always goes to a centerman because they have a little more responsibility. But Hossa played a style that was absolutely incredible. One of the best defensive wingers that ever played the game. Certainly deserves to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Kenny Holland, Detroit Red Wings. I mean, what can you say about him? He built that Detroit franchise into just a stalwart for years and years and years and kept it going. Little bit, there's talk about like what happened at the end there, where he gave big contracts to players that maybe shouldn't have deserved it. I am not so sure that might not have been an Illich thing. But one of the reasons why he did what he did, and people often don't recognize, is Detroit's not really a city that the guys want to flock to. Let's face it. Let's be honest here, okay? It's not the prettiest city in the world. I've been there from Toronto, especially after everything that happened with the automobile industry and all that kind of stuff like that. There's a lot of teams that people would rather choose. So if you take care of your veterans like Holland does, now everybody wants to go to Detroit because they know they're going to be getting taken care of later on in their career. And he took care of his veterans. Was it hard? Yeah. Did it make the rebuild maybe a little tougher? Probably. But you know what? One thing it did do is when this team, and this is why Illich is amazing. Illich is like, when this team is going to be there, I want it to be there. No screwing around. So what they did is they built a character in that room. They brought in Nielsen, everybody. Why did they give him so much money? Because Nielsen is a leader's leader. Like, he is amazing as far as a leader is concerned. Now it's getting a little rough because his legs are dying off. But, he made some mistakes for sure. But as a whole, Holland, most certainly. You could go look at his stats. I don't need to tell you how many wins he had as a general manager. He's still in Edmonton, and I'll tell you, he's turning that organization around. Very well deserving. Although I always thought that it was best for people to get it when they retire, but who knows, Holland may never retire. So it's good to give it to him while he's still alive. St. Pierre, goaltender for Team Canada. What an amazing goaltender she is. 1.17 goals against average, .939 career save percentage, 3 Olympic gold medals. I watched her play, and it was like by far the best goaltender of her generation, maybe of all time. She's probably not going to get enough notoriety because it's women's hockey, but it's women like her that puts hockey on the map, and she's amazing. She certainly does deserve it. Now we get into a little dicey one, and I'm a Edmonton Oilers fan, and putting Lowe in there, I'll tell you, I loved watching Lowe play. Lowe is one of the greatest leaders to ever play the game, and he wins 6 cups. Everybody's going to say Lowe's stats don't do this, and there's a lot of reasons why you can't pick Lowe, but out of all the players that have won 6 cups, there's only one. His name is Talbot in Montreal, old player, that hasn't been in the Hall of Fame. And it's 6 cups is 6 cups. I know he played for great teams and all of that, but I watched those teams as an Edmonton Oilers fan, and you have to see it. Sometimes there's guys you just have to see. He was the glue in everything. Marc Messier, and the leadership in that room was just insane. Messier and Lowe, incredible. And here, he became a general manager in the NHL for that reason. He's a great leader. So I think there's other guys that could be in there, whatever the case may be. This is what I don't get too uppity about it. I'll just say this: if Lowe was never elected into the Hall of Fame, I probably wouldn't have cried too much about it. I could understand both sides. So that's basically the way I look at it. Doug Wilson, now general manager of the San Jose Sharks, he led his club's for rearguard in points for 10 straight seasons. And this is another way that a lot of people out there is going to say, well, he didn't win a Stanley Cup and stuff like that, but he's a guy you had to watch. To me, a good comparable would be Borje Salming. Borje Salming was an amazing defenseman that got stuck on really bad teams. Now, Chicago's teams weren't quite as bad as that, but some of them were pretty bad. And then he went to San Jose, who was just kind of starting up, and he played on the ups as they were building and stuff like that. He kind of just got unfortunate to play on teams that weren't really there. But it wasn't because of him. He was an incredible leader, incredible defenseman. Put up 800 points in, 1,100 games or something of that nature. Those points don't scream Hall of Fame. Some guys you just had to watch. I don't know what to say. He was when you watched Wilson on the ice, he never made mistakes, ever. It's like he never made mistakes. He's one of those defensemen that you had one on your team that may never make the Hall of Fame, and you go, why are they not in the Hall of Fame? Because you watched him every day, and that guy never made mistakes, and he is one of those guys. There's a lot of guys like that that probably deserve to be in the Hall. He did win a Norris too, and he played through a lot of that. He played on the latter part of the clutch and grab. Most of his stuff was a little on the earlier part, but he had over point a game seasons. And like I said, if he would have played on a better team, if he would have played on the Edmonton Oilers for sure, I'll just tell you this: he was a better defenseman than Lowe. So if Lowe's in, Wilson's in. For sure. Although you're not supposed to go on comparisons. So those are who are going in, and who did not go in. I wanted to look at that a little bit before we left here. The guy that I think, you put Jarome Iginla in, I can understand it. The guy that I think you just got to put in, and I don't know why they're dragging their heels about this. Apparently he's kind of a jerk or something. I don't know. But that should not have anything to do with really anything. Alexander McGillney, man. 76 goal season. He would finish with 127 points that season. He was a 6-time All-Star. Maybe it's because he didn't have the longevity. But it took him a while to get into the league. And that's the other thing. It's the big story about how he came over to North America. Go check it out. I mean, it was heroic, and he probably would have played sooner, put up more points, and all kinds of stuff. I don't know. To me, he's got to already be there. They're going to have to put him in there eventually. I would say if he doesn't go in, there is something funky there, man. Then we have my man, Brenda Moore. Oh, love Brenda Moore. 1,500 points in 1,800 games. Somewhere around there. You guys need to know the exact stats? I don't think so, right? Everybody puts out the exact stats. I'm like, I don't need to know that. Somewhere around 1,500 points in 1,800 games. He had 100. He had just practically a point a game. But the thing was, is he was a 2-time Selke winner, one of the best defensive centers his whole career. The thing with him is everybody said put him on the board when Carbonneau went in, because Carbonneau was the best defensive centers. And if you're going to start really allowing like elite defensive centers that didn't have huge offense for their day, I mean, Brendy did pretty good. He almost had 100-point season in 1993-94. And again, he played through that clutch and grab time, put up some really good points. I think he deserves to be there. He's got cups. He deserves to be there. And now he's a head coach, but that shouldn't be part of it. I think he deserves to be there, but he will be there. It's just a question of when they decide to put him in there. And that's the thing. It's like you look at this and go, okay, Lowe over Brenda Moore? Does that mean Lowe is better than Brenda Moore? I don't know what their system is there, and they probably have a reason for it. It seems like some guys have to wait, because if they don't wait, it's signifying that they think that they were better than this player. So like how long you go in tells you how close it was, and all that kind of stuff like that. It's all part of it, I guess. And I don't really get it, but I know Roddy will be there. There's no doubt about it. Everybody knows Roddy's going to be in the Hall of Fame eventually. Jeremy, and then the lesser ones are like Jeremy Roenick. Again, 1,260 points, 9-time All-Star. He's got to go in eventually. And again, I think this is personality, a lot of personality stuff. He's quite the personality. He rubbed a lot of people the wrong way when he played, and maybe he rubbed some people the wrong way in this that are voting for this sort of thing. I'm not sure, but Tom Barrasso, 369 wins. I mean, 2-time Stanley Cup winner. Tom Barrasso should be in. Now, here's a guy, Tom Barrasso, where he is for sure not in, because he was, I don't know the truth about this, but I've heard way too many things about the fact that Tom Barrasso, the ASO part of Tom Barrasso makes sense, is coincidental, something like that. So I guess that's why, but I think eventually they're just going to drag it out. And they'll put him in eventually. He's just one of those guys that really pissed a lot of people off. You got Sergei Gonchar, probably won't be there. Stevie Larmer, you can make a case for that. Vincent LeCavalier, his career just went to shit after Tortorella left Tampa Bay. And from what I understand, if it wasn't for Tortorella, Vincent probably wouldn't have made it as well as he did. He had a few great seasons, but his longevity will probably keep him out. Yuri Lettinen, again, he's like a poor man's Hossa, but he was one of the best defensive wingers that ever played the game, but he just doesn't have the longevity. He probably never make it in. Chris Osgood is a really good. I think they'll likely put him in eventually. He's a guy, I think that he didn't put up the best stats in the world. He was in front of a really good team. I have to argue with that. But he had 401 wins, 50 shutouts, and a 3-time Stanley Cup champion. I don't care what you say. Those stats got to get you in eventually the way they do it. I think it's got to get you in eventually. We'll see if that actually happens. And then there's Keith Tkachuk. 538 goals, 1,065 points. Didn't have a Stanley Cup. But scored goals like crazy and played a kind of game that I think will eventually get him in, because he's one of the best power forwards ever. And our NHL loves our power forwards. I just have a feeling that eventually that will get him in. So those are the guys. You probably wanted to hear a whole bunch of... Shane Doan. Did I mention Shane Doan? I don't think he'll make it. I loved him. Best human, one of the best human beings ever. Maybe one of the best human beings ever played the game. But 972 points. He didn't have any real major awards. Was just a 2-time All-Star. partially because he played on bad teams there with Arizona. But still, those numbers just aren't going to do it. That's my full 42%, boys and girls. That's all I have to give. Tell me what you think. Tell me who you think should be in the Hall. Tell me about. I'll tell you. I posted some of this stuff on Facebook. Whoa, what a ruckus! Oh, people get right emotional about this Hall of Fame stuff. You can talk about anything else. There's not much to it, but you talk about Hall of Fame and guys not in the Hall of Fame. Holy smokes! You think they're the ones that are supposed to be going in the Hall? Some of the guys there. It's incredible. Subscribe, bell. Head over to my Patreon. We're going to be starting sports again. And we do it at BPOW Picks. You want to make some money? We make shitloads of it over there for a lot of people. So head over there and do that. Until next time, you all have a great day. And, oh, here's some pearls. Wow. Forgot that. Helen made these fresh this morning. And sitting right here, I could smell them, but forgot all about it. But there you go. Pearls for your patio. Have a great day. Lots of love to ya.